But it was kind of a stalemate. Even though we huffed and puffed, the front three again were very, very disappointing for me. Passing the ball around in that midfield and defence, and we had some good moves, but just that final pass just was not there. It was very lackluster. It's kind of sums up where we are as a club at the moment, especially after Harry Kane leaving. It's kind of a flat match reaction because I'm not excited. Yo, it's your boy Mr. Box Office from Mr. Box Office TV, back with another video. Tottenham won, West Ham won. And to be honest, I just don't feel this was convincing for me. Even though it was West Ham and it was at the London Stadium, I felt that Tottenham Hotspur were, in the final third, very, very disappointing for me today. We scored first, even though Bowen had a chance earlier on, very earlier on in the game, but on 5 minutes, it was good. It was some good play from Tottenham in the midfield, then putting it into Werner. Werner getting past Selfau on the width and on the wide, and then putting a good ball in the low into the box. And there was Johnson. And to be honest, Johnson finished it very well. Even though it was a tap in, it was a good finish from him. And that was it. Then next thing that happened was West Ham started to get into the game. Tottenham didn't really take their opportunities. Didn't take the opportunity to really try and force the advantage. Because at the end, at the early in the part of the game, Tottenham really looked like they were getting to grips with West Ham. And West Ham were really struggling. It was kind of the fact that Tottenham Hotspur, with their tactics and the way that the philosophy, the way that we played, especially with the fullbacks coming inverted, we had more in midfield and really were going on top of West Ham. But West Ham started to really get on top later on in the game. And it was from the corner that came in and Suma headed it into the back of the net. 1-1, and then you started to worry about onslaught. West Ham were very dangerous at set pieces, which is what I mentioned in one of my predictions in one of the videos in another channel, and that was it. But it was kind of a stalemate. Even though we huffed and puffed, the front three again were very, very disappointing for me. And that's really been the disappointment for me, is that they just do not excite me. When it's a tight game like that, you just don't see it. Yeah, you see the movement, you see us trying to move and be lots of endeavour, but we just haven't got enough to put in the back of the net or try and look at a pass and that's it. And it just became a bit of a stalemate, and that was it for me. And it was one of those games which you kind of felt like if you were just a neutral, you just turn off and that's it. Even though we played some good play, in general play, and that was it in midfield and that. But in the final third, you just couldn't see us scoring. We couldn't see us doing anything. West Ham, unfortunately, had their chances on the counter. And it was only because of Van der Ven, who again saved us again, stopped West Ham from scoring goals, and that was it. And there was even another chance which Vicario saved very well, in fact, and kept us in the game even more. West Ham had the better chances, let's be honest here. Even though Tottenham Hotspur had more of the ball. And again, when it comes to possession, if you don't use that possession to take your chances or fork out chances, there's no point having loads of possession of the ball and that's it. It does look good on the eye, the way that we play. Yes, it does. But if there's no output on it, it doesn't really matter how much possession you have. You still lost the game or still drew the game and that's it. And that's really my frustration when I was watching that game. Now, for me, my thoughts on this season. I'm done with it this season. I don't care about Champions League. But for me, that front three, Werner only did one thing, the assist for Johnson, and then you didn't see him for the whole of the match. Son struggled to get into the game. He was getting in parts, he was making some good moves, but West Ham marked him out the game, and especially in the second half. And I've got to be honest, after Ange made those substitutions, bringing off Maddison, who was getting into the game in that second half, Bentancur, and then bringing on Kulu and Sarr, only one move from Sarr that came through and he tried to cross it into the box. After that, it was nothing. Kulu did nothing. And Sarr he worked hard, but there was nothing really there. That was it. And it was just really shown how lackluster we are in that final third. Yes, we look good, passing the ball around in that midfield and defence, and we had some good moves, but just that final pass just was not there. It was very lackluster, and it's kind of sums up where we are as a club at the moment, especially after Harry Kane leaving. You can see now how average our attack is, and that's it. And I've got no other thoughts on that, and that's it. It's kind of a flat match reaction because I'm not excited when I'm watching this. It might be good on the eye in our half, and that's it. We're passing the ball around. But it's just that final third, the players that we've got. Now, I'm not looking for world-class players, but I'm just looking for someone to just take on his man and just go for it. Now, Johnson does do that, but it's just not for me. He's just not for me at the moment. And Werner, I know we're going to sign him, but it's just not for me either. And I'm just not excited when I watch that front three. It just isn't exciting me whatsoever. And I don't know what else to really say. When people are telling me, oh, I need to give it time, I don't know what they're watching. If they were playing for any other team, these players like Johnson, Werner, Richarlison, Brian Gill, if any of those players were playing for those other clubs, I don't think we'd be excited about those players. We'd be laughing at the other teams. But I don't gather, I just don't have that, yes, great, we've got it. Well done for us getting the point. It's a good point. Let's be honest, it's a good point at West Ham because we could have ended up losing the game. It's tricky, it's a London derby. So well done to Tottenham for getting the point because I'm predicting us losing. But I'm not there. I'm just not there with this team at the moment. It's going to take a while for me to get to know this team. Our next game is Nottingham Forest. So that should be more of it should be more straightforward, that game, even though it's a challenge and they're fighting relegation. But overall, yeah, it's unimpressed, unconvinced, I will say. Let's just say that. But it's going to take a lot for me to be convinced, to be honest. And that's it for me. That's my review on the game today against West Ham. It's a draw again today. It's a draw today. We move on to Nottingham Forest. Please like and subscribe and keep your notifications on like always. And as always, if you didn't know, get to know, support your boy, Mr. Box Office, subscribe and like, and come on you Spurs. And I'm out.